Greetings folks, Metal Tiger here at another video in the backyard. Wanted to show off my Hoyt Podium today, which I've had for maybe 2 years now or so. I shoot this bow mainly indoors. I have it set up for larger arrows. I'm sporting the hot rod stabilizer system on here, and I use the Achieve XL scope, sight, and the Sherlock scope. I find that combination to work the best for me. I did use the Sherlock scope and sight for many years, and recently, in the last year or so, switched over to this Achieve sight, which I find to be very, very positive and strong. I highly recommend it. Running the Pro Blade as a rest, and for all intents and purposes, this bow shoots as well as anything out there. You know, in 2014-15 and this year, it's won a lot of medals. I noticed this year that a lot of archers are moving to other bows. Now, I don't know if that's just the trend. They want to shoot something what's new. I noticed that the Elite company has grabbed a bunch of top shooters and they're shooting their Elite Victory, and then the Matthews shooters are drawing a lot of people to their Halon X, giving the Podium a real run for its money. But we'll see how it does today. For indoor setup for USA Archery, I shoot a Easton arrow, the 2315s, with a pinpoint point, 200 grain. And these arrows are kind of standard for USA Archery events, which is the largest shaft that's legal for those events. For Vegas, of course, you can shoot a little bit bigger, but that's an NFAA deal. Anyway, let's shoot this thing and see how we go. As you can recall from a recent video, I was testing out my Jesse Broadwater release, and I was yanking on it a little bit. Let's see if today I do a little bit better job of just holding on to it. I haven't even drawn the bow back today. I haven't had any practice at all, so this is straight from dead cold. Okay, so let's see what happens. I do like the V-bars, the dual in the back. This is kind of a nice setup for me. One of them can rest right on my hip, which is great. I just really like it. I've done some tests, and I cannot prove that having the dual setup is better balanced than having just a single bar in the back. But I like it, and you can stand the bow up, upside down with the V-bar. I'll show you that later. Anyway, let's go with a couple arrows and see how we do with our release. Oh, that first drawback was a little tough. See, once I warm up a little bit, maybe it'll be a little easier. For all the recurve guys, we teach all these exercises to get their back warmed up and their shoulders to warm up. That's always a good idea, even if you're shooting compound. So don't do what I just did and not warm up before drawing your bow back. But I kind of do that with the compound, much more so than I do with the recurve. With the recurve, I do really warm up before I start drawing the bow. That's better. Ugh. I hate it when I do that. Now, if you're watching, you can see that I just really yanked on it. I may have to change the setting on this back tension release. It may be not hot enough. Maybe there's too much travel. So there's all these little nuances that you have to play with before you get it set just right. My fear always is that if I set it too hot, that it's going to go off before I come to the anchor. So definitely using a back tension release is a little bit more of a transition than shooting a button or a trigger. That felt good. What else can I tell you about the Hoyt? I'm not going to shoot that one. I really like this color combination. I think I saw Real Wild shoot this dark blue with this orange. And I said to myself, now that is great. And I was in the process of ordering another bow at the time, and I just went ahead and ordered it that way. Originally, I ordered this bow with spiral cams and 50-pound limbs. I shot it that way for about a year, and then I decided to experiment. I actually bought a couple of these. I sold one, and I still have two left. I have this one and a red one. So what I did with this bow is I switched over to the GTX cams, and of course changed the string and cables. And when I did that, what I found was that the poundage went up. It was a 50-pound limb, which is still on here, but now I'm shooting 56, 57 pounds. The limbs are locked down all the way. I could back it off, but I find that it's pretty comfortable right the way it is, and it shoots great. So I did call the factory, and I asked them about that, and their comment was, well, when you go to the GTX cams, because they're slightly larger, I believe, than the spirals, that you're going to get more bend in the limbs, and the poundage will go up probably about 10 pounds. So theoretically, they told me I would be shooting a 60-pound bow, which I've kind of transitioned into anyway, shooting 56 pounds for the most part in all the bows that I have. So I found that to be kind of a welcome thing. Not that the 50-pound is bad. You don't need any more than that for indoor. But I just thought it was kind of interesting that happened. Okay, that's a couple arrows out of the Hoyt Podium. It's a beautiful bow. It shoots great. It's won tons of medals. Highly recommend it. Now let's go look at the target.